Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Planet Hulk Worldbreakers, issue number 2. This was a terrible book. It's not just that it was terrible, it's that I laughed my ass off by the end of this comic book, and not for a good reason. For an absolutely terrible reason. That somebody should have walked up and said, dude, what are you doing to this book? Okay, let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll get into the actual review. Greg Pak is completely responsible for all the writing in this book and should be flogged 100 lashes with a wet noodle. Manuel Garcia is the penciler. Didn't exactly do a much better job, Manuel. Not in this particular case, but, you know, he did all right. Anyway, so there's Cam Smith on inks and Chris Sotomayor doing the colors and VC's Joe Caramagna doing the letters. Cover artist. And I don't really want to get too much into this. Guys, I am really highly, terribly freaking disappointed in this comic book. You got the Harg. They're called the Harg. Anyway, they're basically the children of the Hulk. Like, oh my God, imagine that, the children of the Hulk. Was SheHulk ravaged in order to make these children? You know, like the hillbilly stuff from back in the day. Like, what the frick is going on here? Anyway, so one of the children gets upset. She goes and she finds, we saw in the previous episode, she goes and she finds Amadeus Cho, everybody's favorite Hulk. Oh, no, wait. No, that's the Hulk that nobody liked. But for the most part, no, I mean, people liked it, but it just got stupider and stupider as time went on, and nobody did anything with it. Like, it just wasn't that good. She goes and she finds this guy, and they have to go and find Bruce Banner. And I said, you know, I kind of wish that the Hulk was in the comic book in the previous issue, right? Like, Hulk was not in the comic book, and that was a shame. Hulk and Banner are in this comic book. And I'm like, man, I wish he wasn't in this comic book. It was so bad. I can't make up my mind because, like, bad options keep on coming before me like a carousel of jackassery. Like, it's really bad. It's horrible. I feel like a preacher just be like, this is bad. This is really, really bad. Wow. I'm sitting here reading this comic book where Hulk is like, Banner. They show up, and of course, you got the one, you always have to have that one woman who's weaker than dog crap, gets her ass beat, and has to go and ask somebody for help. Somebody who's much older than her and is more experienced and knows that these things, like, it's not going to go well. Well, that's exactly what happens in this. And then, of course, she starts yelling at him and cursing at him and saying every bad, but I don't know if she called him a coward, but that's usually in the playbook, right? I don't think she actually called him a coward in this, which I guess is a benefit. But you know how they always have that one girl who's super weak who's going to be like, you're a coward. Your brother was taken. I'm sorry, let me just make sure we can get this straight. Your brother was taken after you just told him, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. I'm going to protect you. And your brother got taken right in front of your freaking face. And there wasn't jack dit you could do about it. Jack Ditley that you could do about it. You got your ass beat. So then she instead goes and she licks her wounds and she's going to go and find somebody, but like, you got to help. Oh, you can't help? Well, bring me to somebody who can. And then they go, and then right away, like, you had to help me. How dare you not help me? I had all this stuff, but nothing. We just abused it. It's all your fault. And me. Do what I want you to do. What's kind of cool is that Banner actually says some stuff that I liked in here. It's like, oh, so let me get this straight. Once again, you're just somebody who's going to show up out of nowhere and you're going to say, oh, hey, help. And basically use your powers as a Hulk to go and hurt someone else. And that's all I really want from you. Like, really? Really? And she says, well, no, that's not really what, and he turns around, and what does Banner say to her? Really? She's a horrible character, and she's so typical, and it's painful to constantly see the exact same thing, the exact same trope, constantly being shown over and over again in these freaking comic books. It's the exact same thing. It's like freaking Groundhog's Day with these comics at this point. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Banner, they're like, don't get him mad. Whatever you do, just don't get him mad. Like, we're supposed to be scared of this stuff, but constantly, don't get him mad. Don't get me mad. Mr. McGee, don't make me mad. You wouldn't like me when I'm mad. Shut the funk up. Nothing ever happens when he gets mad. I'm sorry. Let me simply point that out in a way that everybody can understand. Absolutely nothing ever happens. Nothing good, but nothing bad ever happens when the Hulk gets angry. No. Instead, he goes, "Whoa!" And then people go either, ah, and they run, or they go, ah, and they freeze, and then he walks away or leaps away. That's all that happens. You won't like me when I'm angry. What's going to happen? I'm going to intimidate you and then leave you. So, at first, she says something that's a little bit annoying. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the Hulk. Oh, wow, that was actually really cool because I've never seen that before. Oh, wait. Yes, I have. She's like talking to the Hulk inside of him. I don't need you. I need the Hulk. Oh, my God. This is so bad. This was so bad. So you know what Banner does? His feet turn green. Just for a few moments. It's like he's wearing slippers. You remember when Peter David had Professor Hulk show up and he was wearing fuzzy pink bunny slippers and he talked about the fuzzy pink bunny slippers, and when his fuzzy pink bunny slippers got damaged, he was like, you owe me a new pair of fuzzy pink bunny slippers, and like got in the person's face, and it was like, really, like, holy crap, That was fun. That was memorable. It was very new. Nobody ever saw the Hulk doing stuff like that, and it was great. This, you turned his feet green. Ooh, I could imagine the odoriferous emanations that were prolificating from his feet. Like, give me a break. This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing with the Hulk. Oh my God. I take back what I said last week about give Greg Pak the opportunity to do whatever he wants with the Hulk because he's done some really great stuff with the Hulk. He's clearly lost it. And when I mean he's lost it, I mean like with a capital and emphasized it. Like, it's all gone. All of it. The guy's got nothing left in the tank. This sounds so mean, and I'm sure that he's a wonderful human being, but dude, like, I'm so sick and tired of garbage getting through editors to come to it, and that's exactly what this is. This is absolute garbage coming forward. There's nothing fun about this. Nothing at all. So finally she pisses off the Hulk enough by saying a bunch of absolute empty nothings, like I said she would, like we've seen 1,000 times before, just in Hulk comic books. Forget about comic books in general. And then he hulks up, but he doesn't do like this. Like, look, this is actually a good posture. I could do deadlifts like this. I could do squats like this, you know what I'm saying, with a couple plates. This, he goes over, he's like, he's got a big hunchback. Not even like a Quasimodo hunchback. No. He's got one of those like Edward from Twilight hunchbacks. What was that guy's real name? Can't remember that guy's real name. Cedric Diggory. And he played Batman. Holy crap, they got this freaking moron to play Batman. Everybody's like, he's going to do a good job. And you know who said that? Gay men and women who thought he was cute. That's it. Nobody else said he was cute. Nobody who looked at this with I'm going off today. Nobody looked at this and said, yes, I've seen his credentials before, and I think he's fantastic, and I think he'll do a great job. No. There are a bunch of people who thought he was cute, and were like, oh, he's so dreamy. Cedric, you can have my freaking port key anytime you want. Port key is a boot. That's probably going to get ripped when Banner's feet turn green. Like, God, this was terrible. So he looked like that. He looked like that. Oh, Edward Cullen. I think that was that. Edward Cullen. I can't remember the guy. Oh, Robert Pattinson. There we go. So freaking Robert Paddington Bear, he's got that hunchback, and he's got like, hey, what's going on? Like, can you imagine when this guy gets old? He's going to look like a perverted Nick Cage. Like, it's terrible the way this guy looks. Like, he's got the worst posture in the world. And I told somebody, oh, he's got bad posture. Oh, people who lift weights have that kind of a posture. I don't have that posture. I promise you, I'm a lot stronger than freaking Paddington Bear over there, all right? Dude, like, this was hugely embarrassing. He just, ugh. And then he doesn't really say or do anything. He just turns around and he walks into the lava. Just like stupid things. Like, he walks into the lava. I mean, it obviously couldn't have been that hot because his pants were just fine. Oh my God, this was so terrible. Oh, but wait, it gets better. Not in a good way. So say, fine, we're going to go find She-Hulk. She says, fine, we're going to go find She-Hulk. And they find her instantly. I'm talking like a panel. No, guys, the very next panel, they're standing before the person who's saying, you wish to speak with She-Hulk? Do you think that's bad? No, no, no. Here's the really bad part. Here's the part where I just say, you know what? With all the nonsense that happened in this comic book, this is the worst. This is the creme de la creme. This is the cream of the crop. This is the cherry on top. This is the absolute worst. Greg Pak must be stopped for his own sake. Somebody needs to have a Paktervention. Not just a regular intervention, a Paktervention. He needs to go back and start writing Mech Warrior Woo. Was that what it was pronounced like? Anyway, it was something like that. And that was good for Boom Studios. This is horrible. This is a pile of horse crap. They didn't say, we must not let them disturb the She-Hulk. No, they said, we must not let him bother or them bother the Jen. I thought maybe there's a chance, let me give it an opportunity, maybe it's some kind of a typo. Maybe somebody just put, like, instead of the She-Hulk or the green chick, the green chick would have been better. The freaking, the forest femme, okay? The forest green femme, anything. They could have said pretty much anything, but instead they said the Jen. Not Jen, not Ms. Walters, not like Master Jen. No. Mistress Jen, not the Savior, World Ship Savior Jen. No. They actually said the Jen. They repeated it. Oh my God. This is the crap that they actually put a price tag and a UPC on and say, here, kids, buy this. Well, no more, I tell you. I'm done. I'm done with it all. I'm taking a stand. I'm going to sit here and take a stand. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down and stand up for my rights. Okay, that's actually stealing from Martin Luther King Jr., but like, you get what I'm saying. I have the right to good comic books. I do. No, I don't. I don't have the right to good comic books, but I have the right to refuse bad ones. You can't push that crap on me. How dare you try and like sitting there and shoveling through the maneuver and through all the maneuver and the coal, and you're trying to, like, you know, fill the train. Just get a whole pile of these freaking comic books and just start throwing these into the freaking fire. Oh, that train will go, like, that steam engine will turn into a freaking bullet train in a heartbeat. I promise you, it'll go off the rails. It'll go that fast because this stuff is grade A combustible. It is horrible. Just let me make sure I get that tenor right. Oh, it is shit. That's what it is. That's what I'm sitting here looking at. I'm reading this comic book and I realize this is freaking manure. The Jen. Really? I made fun of the way they used She-Hulk in the previous issue, and that was 10 times better than what I read right now. This is horrible. Dude, and like at the end of the day, guys, no one likes the freaking She-Hulk. Nobody likes the She-Hulk. Right? Nobody bought the comic book except the people who like to see John Byrne's pervy use of her and very rapey use of her. Right? Nobody actually sat down, no adult ever sat down and said, you know what? I love She-Hulk. Like her comic books. I love the She-Hulk. She doesn't sell. Okay? I don't know how much more clear I could put that. She-Hulk has never really sold. She sold just enough that they would keep her in business, and it was something to keep John Byrne busy, so he wanted to go over to freaking DC. Like, this is horrible. This is just horrible. I have no idea why they're doing this. But you know what? It is what it is. Guys, I'm going to stop reading this comic book. Or, maybe I'll even continue reading it just so I can make fun of it. You know what? I'm going to decide. I'm going to determine, all right? I hate reading something. I hate making fun of something. But at the end of the day, I think I just want to read this comic book just simply to make fun of it and see if you guys want to come along for the ride. Because I don't think anybody's going to argue that this comic book is actually good. You could be brand new to comic books and never see any of these tropes and still say, no, these were done really poorly. I could imagine something like this being done well, but that's not what was executed in this comic book. No, this was terrible. Guys, I'm out. Like the video, hate the comic, watch an ad, don't read the comic book. Save your money. Save your freaking money. I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.